Under the guise of expanding internet access to everyone, Facebook is creating a so-called free version of the internet for poor people. And at face value, this may seem like, something that they're doing for altruistic reasons, but you don't have to dig very deep to see that there's a really devious, hidden corporate agenda here. So according to Adam Clark Estes of Gizmodo, in recent months, Facebook has been secretly meeting with White House officials and wireless carriers about launching its controversial Free Basics program in the United States. The idea of this actually happening isn't just bad, it's terrifying. Facebook's Free Basics program creates a walled-off internet for poor people, except it doesn't actually give its low-income users free access to the internet. Free Basics gives people access to Facebook's version of the internet. The program is an obvious ploy to win more Facebook users and enable those users to trade their personal data for a cherry-picked set of services provided by big internet companies like Facebook, who can afford to play ball. Indeed, millions of Americans lack easy access to the internet. This is a problem, especially as more and more services, including essential government services, exist largely online. But letting Facebook subvert open internet principles and create its own Facebook net in the United States amounts to opening Pandora's box. It would give Facebook access to personal data of millions of people, potentially to profit off of their plight with new ad dollars. There's also the possibility that the Free Basics program won't always be free, since Facebook could always decide to start charging wireless carriers. As the Post reports, Facebook has been targeting lesser-known wireless carriers instead of the big boys like Verizon and AT&T. This lets the social network fly under the radar of regulators to a certain extent. It also means that it will be easier to bully these smaller companies when the time comes. So far, Facebook is keeping its dealings under wraps, simply saying in a statement that its mission is to connect the world, and we're always exploring ways to do that, including in the United States. Now, Facebook actually got 49 countries to sign on to their Free Basics program, but some of them, once they saw what it was all about, they decided to ban it. Now, this includes India and Egypt. Now, Egypt, they tend to throttle their citizens' access to the internet in general, but when it comes to India, the fact that they decided to ban it when they really could benefit from their citizens having access to the internet, that really goes to show you just how bad of a program this really is, because lately, with the attack on net neutrality, we've been forced to confront what the internet might look like under no net neutrality rules. In a system where large corporations like Comcast and AT&T are able to filter out what we see and don't see on the internet, where they charge us more money for social media packages, for example, where you have to pay an extra $5 a month if you want to watch, YouTube videos or view Facebook and Twitter. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And what Facebook is doing here is they're creating this so-called free internet for poor people that's not the internet at all. And if Facebook does this, then more companies might start gravitating towards this option, where we get to the point where, we open Pandora's box, like the article says, and it's a slippery slope where we get to a point where the internet is not free and open at all. It's like the television, where you have certain channels and there's only a certain number of websites that are available, when currently the internet is free and open to everyone. So if Facebook was really concerned about expanding access of the internet to poor people, then they would just give us the internet in general. Why limit it? Why do that? If you truly do care, if the goal here is to make sure that everyone has access to the internet, why do you have to put stipulations on it? Why do you have to make it so that way they're only accessing what you want them to see? I mean, this is incredibly Orwellian. Facebook will control everything that these people see. Do you think that Facebook will allow criticism of Facebook? Of course they won't. So there's going to be no news articles criticizing Facebook. Do you think that Facebook would do anything to offend their corporate advertisers on Facebook? Well, of course not. So you're getting this watered down version of the internet that's heavily restricted, that's Orwellian, that's, quite frankly, is authoritarian and maybe even totalitarian. It's terrifying. Now, I know people are going to argue against what I'm saying because, well, it's free. If they don't want to use it, they don't have to use it. But you don't understand what this does. In allowing Facebook to subvert the principle of net neutrality and create this restricted version of the internet that they offer to people for free. And if all of the big companies, there's a couple that offer us internet, if they all start doing this, then the internet's gone as we know it. And it's already bad enough that the internet is under attack. Internet freedom is under attack by Ajit Pai and the FCC. They want to roll back Title II net neutrality regulations. And the internet is already, it looks like it's going to be a less free and open place. We don't need Facebook coming in and making it even less free and open. So again, if they really cared about expanding the internet to poor people and to rural areas, then just, if you can offer them the internet, why offer them your shitty watered down version of it? Well, they have an agenda. They want to control what you see. They want to advertise to you. They want to use your data, and they want to make sure that they can sell, the best ads to advertisers and profit heavily from it. It's so devious. It's disgusting. So, don't buy anything that they're selling here, because they're not doing this for altruistic reasons. Anytime you see a corporation trying to control content that you see and filter information that you see, you immediately should have that red flag go off in your head, because something's up here. And this is no different here.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.